Hello everyone who just wants to send a rocket to space! I am BorderWise and welcome back to From the Depths. More specifically, the build menu walkthrough. We are getting there slowly but surely, and well, here is a missile. It's not a very good one, but it's definitely a missile, and man, we're really high up now. Don't look down. I looked down. And now we're out of fuel. And I think now this thing is subject to zero gravity. So, nope, it's falling back down. Let's see how long it lasts. Anyway, missiles are the new player's best friend in From the Depths. They're one of the simplest weapons to set up, which is kind of ironic, really, because in real life, they're friggin' complicated and guns are a lot simpler. But I don't know, it is video game. I'm really tempted to just watch this thing fall all the way back down to Earth, and I think it might actually do that. Oh, look at us falling down very quickly. No, we should probably get on with it. Do I see missile up there? Oh well, it might come straight back. Oops. I just fired another one. No worries. Alright, first things first, get rid of this so we can actually talk about the build menu. To start off with, you'll see a whole lot of prefabs here. Some of them are made by my buddy Ninja, so remember to use the prefabs, or at the very least look at them, because somebody made them specifically for you to use. Let's talk about the controller. So, this is the block that controls the launch of the missiles. It is essentially the missile equivalent of the firing piece for CRAM or advanced cannons. So this is the block that controls everything. If this block is lost, the missile system just straight up does not work. It is the most significant point of failure. And one thing to note about this thing is that it's got really funny connection. It's got 5 pegs that connect to missile components, and then on one side it just kind of doesn't. I don't know why that is, but it is kind of helpful just when you do this to just switch it around so it's, you know, facing up, so to speak. Well, is it facing up? So that's forward, makes forward facing up, and that way you can put missile blocks on all 5 sides, and life is convenient. Thankfully, unlike the firing pieces, it doesn't really matter how you orientate this. Also, I just realized that this is not in the middle, and that's going to bug me, so here we go. So we got that. That controls the missile, and if you want this controlled by AI, you'll go here. Just going to use the all-in-one local. Does anyone use these anymore? The only time you'd use them, I think, is like if you're trying to save costs. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. 1, 2. Alright, so this is now controlled by that thing. But we need to put missiles on it, so first thing first, the connector. This is pretty self-explanatory. It connects things. So let's do, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors right there. Nice little missile line. And then 2, well, this is a very important block. The identify friend or foe. I don't know why you'd ever not have this. I guess, like, if you're using, if you're doing things like, using magnetic mines or something, you don't really need them. If you're using interceptors, you don't really need it. Actually, there's a bunch of times where you don't need this, so that makes sense that it's a block. Expensive block. So this just means that when you fire missiles off this thing, if they're self-guided, so if they're radar-guided or infrared, they don't lock onto your craft, because that is a thing that can happen. It is also quite funny to see when a craft is damaged, and when this gets taken out, it shooting itself with its own missile. So honestly, entertainment there. I, just in that sentence, come fully around. Then you have the staggered fire. So if you have got a bunch of missiles in one system, perhaps you don't want to fire them all at once because things that blow up missiles tend to have an area effect. Maybe you want to stagger them out a little bit. So this is what this is for. And if you hit Q on this, you can set the stagger infidel. That's definitely the word. Stagger interval. Wow, where'd that come from? Alright, so stagger interval can go all the way up to 5 and go down to 0. I'm not sure why you'd set it ever as, like, 0. Maybe if you breadboard it or something. Your breadboard is actually relevant to missiles, like, we'll get to that. So we'll just use it. Well, I'll just set this to 0.5 right now because I like that number. So yeah. And then you have the laser emitter. So if you're using laser-guided missiles, so there's 2 kinds. There is the laser designator, which goes on the front of the missile, like right on its nose, and then this laser beam rider, which can go, well, anywhere really. It requires this, and so if I just, I don't know, let's, you know what we can do here? Let's do this. Let's make a little towery thing. Not actually what you'd want to do, really, but we're just demonstrating. Actually, this is an excellent time to show that off, so never mind. Get rid of that. Die! Right. So, I'm going to go all the way over here, and I'm going to put a connector, and then we're going to talk about this, the wireless transmitter. So, many updates ago, many moons ago in the misty mists of the past, missiles were updated so that you can connect, like, missile systems wirelessly to each other, like the same way you can AI components. So, the wireless transmitter goes onto the missile controller, or just anything that's connected directly to it, and then the receiver goes onto whatever you want to be remotely controlled. So now this is connected to Weapon ID 1, and you can actually change which channel this sets on, just like the AI. It's actually really convenient, honestly. And then we can stick this on here, so I guess we're making laser-guided missiles today. I don't know, I guess that's just what we're doing. And then going down the list here, we've got evil, naughty things. The Lua transceiver. So, if you do this, it allows missiles from a launch pad to be guided by Lua commands from the Lua box. Where the hell's the Lua box? I think I must have talked about this somewhere. Where was it? Here it is. Here it is. Here's this ancient forbidden block. Ancient, evil, forbidden block. Listen, if you want to use this, that's fine. Like, I don't judge you that much. But honestly, if you wanted to code the game to do what you wanted it to, you might as well just mod it. Well, what do I know? Lua, From the Depths runs on the Unity engine, which I think it's like C plus or C sharp it's written in. So if you know how to code Lua and don't know how to code C sharp, but anyway, I'm rambling now. Anyway, how is that not connected to a missile control? What the hell? Oh, it's connected to the launch pad. Right. So we'll get to that probably. Let's put you over here for now. So you put that over there, skipping ahead. There, that's connected right there. Okay then. That's also quite expensive. That was a feeble attempt by the devs to try and balance that. Although I think Lua-guided missiles are fooled by... well, not fooled. Their accuracy is reduced by ECM, which we're really skipping ahead over there. But, like, just remember this block exists. It is relevant. So yeah, Lua, very naughty. If you want to use Lua on your missiles, well, you can. Nothing's stopping you. The more recent thing is that you can do this. This is the breadboard controller, so you can do all kinds of things here. I do not know breadboard very well to begin with, and I know missile breadboard even less. There's kind of things I'd want to do in here. I'd never have taken the time to figure out how to do them. I'm too busy building the same canoe over and over again. Anyway, ejectors! So we probably need to place a launch pad at some point, so we've got to get to that. So firstly, we're going to place, a launch pad. So there's 4 sizes of missile, and they all behave roughly the same way with minor differences. We got small, medium, large, huge. Overall, people seem to agree for dealing damage. Large missiles are the best in terms of actually doing damage and being cost effective. Small and medium are for rather specific things, and huge is for when you have too much money, Mr. Jeff Bezos. Anyway, so... yeah, let's plant a launch pad right here. You'll see there's a bunch of them. So we've got the launcher, which is the main block of the missile piece. And then you've got gantries and hatch gantries, which essentially extend the length of the missile. By default, small missiles come in little cubes of 4, but you could also get single versions with the rail launchers. Rail launchers are a little bit different. They fit differently onto things, so... if we have our small launcher right here, our rail launcher, if we put it like this, does not fit. It needs to be connected on the side. Meanwhile, our regular launcher can attach on either the side or the bottom. So, very nice indeed. What else can we talk about here? We've also got the reversed, which lobs this thing backwards. So if you go here, you can see what orientation the missiles are in. Do that, you see they're pointing up. So, I never really use reverse launchers, but like I'm led to believe they can actually be pretty good, especially if they're launched at the rear of a fast-moving craft. And let's sort of stick a gantry on there, and let's stick a hatch. Hatches are useful because they have somewhat more health and armor, which is kind of the point of a hatch. It protects it. You also have the invisible rail gantry, which is quite nice. Where does that go? Alright, so we got the launcher and the invisible gantry like that. This is to make your planes more pretty. There needs to be more invisible blocks, and as you'll notice there's not a block preview there. That's because it's invisible. Haha! And same thing with the single launcher version we got there, and we got an invisible one. You can see the missile, right? It's all good. So yeah, that was in response to people saying, I want to make Jet Fighter look good, and then the devs listened, because the devs are good at listening. Alright, so, let's launch these. These things do not have a one turn on them, that's probably a good idea. This guide is less about, like, the actual missile components, so please pardon me for skimming over this. But if you want things to go in the direction in the direction they're fired. So, missiles launch right there. Ejectors, coming back to them. The more ejectors you stick on something, the higher the, I suppose, the exit velocity of the missile is. So 3 ejectors get into this launch bag. Ejection angle limited by hatch, so you can't change that. Let's see. So ejection, where is the ejection speed? It's somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. Launch image per second. No, where is it? Damn it. It was somewhere. Wait, no, the launch speed is 260. There it is. It's right there. So now, when we launch these, it's very, very, very fast. So yeah, like, I hardly ever use ejectors now I think about it, but like, you know, they have their uses. They absolutely have their uses. And if you want to be cute, let's see, what is this? This has not really got any guidance systems on it. When the hatch is off, you can change the election. The election? Wow! There's subliminal messaging happening here, my goodness. You can change the elevation and azimuth of it, so I think if you do 180... Let's try that, actually. That'll be funny. So if you do this, they should be launched straight down into the craft. Nope. That did nothing. Alright, let's try this again. Let's try 90 degrees. Did it do that? Yes, it did. Alright. Yep. So yeah, you could do quite wacky things here. Let's do 45 degrees here, and so I believe this is in relation to the launch pad rather than the actual craft. Alright, so now if I want to fling that forward, like so, I'll do this. I'm sorry, I'd never play with ejectors and I'm having fun. So it's being lobbed forward like that. That's quite neat, actually. Ah, didn't know you could do that. This could also get kind of wacky because you could essentially... Hang on, let's see this. No way this is gonna work. Nope, okay, so we've got failsafe here. We're just gonna turn that off. Yep. Oh no. Horrible, glitchy nonsense. Alright, that's enough about that. Right, so moving on to medium missiles, it's a very similar thing. There's less options here, actually. So we've got your regular launcher, you've got your reverse launcher, regular gantry, you've got your hatched gantry over here. This is a little different, so let's just do that. Delete all of that, please. And gonna have, what are we gonna have? We're gonna have this, and we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we put a gantry on here, you'll notice something. These gantries slide sideways. So if I am ready to that, they slide sideways. Very nice. Which is why almost always when I use gantries for these things, I use the aerodynamic ones. Because they are, I don't know, they're more convenient space-wise. Alright, and same story as before. We've got a medium rail launcher. Which is useful actually for medium missiles and bigger, because you will notice that with small missiles, the launcher has like a tiny little missile that's like 4 components long. The medium launcher doesn't have any components on it. It needs gantries in order to have that. However, the rail launcher does have 2 missile components attached for nothing. So right here. So generally speaking, like, This is just me, by the way, because you can't use ejectors with rail launchers, which is one of their main downsides. You see, I can't even attach it to this at all. If you want just that little bit of extra missile length, using rail launchers is very, very, very useful. We'll stick an invisible one right there, and yes, very good, very good. Pat, pat, good. Good missile. Alright, so again, large missiles, similar story, same thing but bigger. You'll notice that missiles are very expensive. Makes sense, right? Missiles are expensive in real life too. So we've got large reverse launcher, we've got the large launcher, rail gantry, invisible, large gantry, and the 2x2 and the 4x4 hatch. So we should... Oh, darn it, I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. There we go. I fixed that completely. Alright, so let us go and find our large launcher. Where is my rocket launcher? 1, 2, 3, 4. And so the 2x2 hatch looks like that. And it does that. And the 4x4 hatch, which I never use because it's very big, looks like that. And it looks very cool though. Hehehe. So yeah, also fun fact, large interceptors were added back into the game some time ago, so like this is actually a valid missile to use, which is pretty funny, honestly. Anyway, last missile size to go. Huge missiles. These are very expensive, and there's like there's not many options here. You've got the launcher and the rail launcher, so let's put the launcher there. That is stupidly big. And yep, look at this. This thing is 3x3 meters long. It is huge. Very big, very slow, very tough. And we got the gantry like so. 2, 3, 4. I should mention as well, I forgot to, that large missiles, they're kind of a funny shape. So putting them straight down the middle of a odd width craft is a little bit of a pain. Just worth noting, you have to do funky things with them. These things are very silly. These do not get interceptor heads, because can you imagine how silly that would be? And over here, we got a huge hatch. So huge. And it opens. Like so. Very good. Very good. I probably should show off how much damage this bloody thing can do. Let's have a radar. The problem with this is that they're very big, and you only get like one component like per block, which means it's one missile component per like 2 meters or something like that. Something ridiculous. So let's have a radar guided seeker, because that is a nice default. We're going to have an APN, and we're going to have an explosive round, and that is the bare minimum, really the bare minimum. So if we do that, and if I just get rid of this, because we don't need it, let's spawn in a Marauder right here, which poor Marauder has absolutely no missile defense whatsoever, and this thing, there's nothing quite like, seeing a huge missile next to a craft, something that is actually like a ship. Honestly, I think these things are ICBM sized. Like, and pause. This is how massive this missile is. It is huge. And it did 148,000 explosive damage all at once. So that is presumably like the main draw of them, because like, honestly, they're just very, very big and very silly. The cost of this missile system, just with this one frickin' huge launcher, is like, let's go here. The material cost is like 48,820. Their, starter craft are like, there's entire craft which are like cheaper than this. In fact, it's not that complicated to make a craft which is cheaper than this. Missiles are just silly. This is why you don't see huge missiles used that often. Like, even in the campaign and meter, not many things use them, because they're very... You have to build your entire craft around using these things. They're not just something you can just slap on and forget about them. Because if you just slap them on, they're probably not going to do very well, because they're so damn slow and expensive. Okay, now we got 2 fun blocks. We got a winch over here, so I'm going to... What am I going to do here? I'm going to... Let's have a large lawn chair. Again, something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. we got the winch. So, the winch works with the missile harpoon component, and it basically allows you to either have towed missiles, so buoys especially. So remember way back when we were talking about detection, these things, having towed radar buoys or towed distraction sticks, as they're sometimes called. So radar target simulators and sticky flares. That can be pretty useful. I personally don't use towed anything very often, but just something to note with where's the buoy? Oh, we don't have one. Oh no. Oh no. We're gonna need one. Hold on, I have one. Right here, if we have a, I don't know, a sonar buoy, like so. I think now we can add one. We can't, no we can't. What the hell? Are we not allowed? Am I blind? I might be blind. Can you not do that on... Oh, you can't do that on large missiles. Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. That's just not cricket. Okay. There we go. So the buoy. So having these things on cables means that... because usually, if you just drop a sonar buoy, so it would look something like this, just drop this into the ocean, and you get like a sonar detection without actually putting your craft in the water. This is a wireless connection, which means that this block way over here, again, skipping ahead a little bit, this block screws with it. However, if it's on a cable, it's not a wireless connection, and this no longer screws with it. So you see big, scary thruster craft, like, what uses that? I'm trying to remember. So, in particular, the Scarlet Dawn Laniakea does something like this, and I might as well just show you. So, just give me a second here. We'll talk about actual... I'll build a harpoon in a second. So, if we spawn in a blackcurrant over there, spawn in over here, a Laniakea. This thing does something quite interesting with stuff like that. So firstly, it open fires and almost kills the blackcurrant immediately. See what it do. Which is helpfully not decorated at all. It's just a whole bunch of very... Harpoon cables can get extraordinarily long. This thing is... I don't think the blackcurrant has ECM, but even if it did, it wouldn't be working because this thing is transmitting data all the way up that long cable straight to the Laniakea, which means that this thing is getting very accurate targeting data, well, relatively accurate targeting data, on the submarine that's almost on the bottom of the ocean. It's why I am not particularly scared of submarines for the most part, but I am very, very scared of airships. So there you go. That is probably the best example of how to use harpoons, because it just makes detecting submarines, like, really easy, and it means you don't have to dangle any part of you in the water. But let us show you how the harpoons work like the traditional way. Traditional. Alright, so we got... What do we need here? We need a little bit more length. We're going to have a radar seeker, because again, that's cool. And we're going to have a harpoon. And we're going to have an APN. And we're going to have cable drum. So cable length is like really quite long actually. That's let's see, 1,200 plus 600, and I never really looked at how the cable drum looks. It looks pretty cool. You could effectively, I don't think it's possible to have like a. Actually, you know what would be fun? Actually, you know what would be fun? Since we have laser guided missiles on this anyway, we might as well have that. So let's just fire that, and let's go here. Power used by the winch, desired range. Winch will stop winching. Brake cable at max length. Nope. Apply to all. So I think... Do we have enough power? Probably not. Hang on. Let me go into my secret little prefab and have enough power, because harpoons do require power. Easy to forget. This is a pretty scuffed tutorial, and I'm having a great time, and I hope you are as well. That should probably be enough. That's way excessive. BorderWise, what are you doing? Okay. And now, hopefully, assuming I've done this right, we will be dragging a marauder right to us. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. They are following the thing. And now the Marauder's coming for a ride. Whee! Oh, I frickin' love having the Marauder. I should use these more often, actually. Harpoons are great fun. I just kind of want to, like... I don't know, drag stuff out of the air. Or out of the water, I guess. Whee! You actually do see melee vehicles, like, try stuff like this. It's quite fun. So yeah, harpoons, great fun. Cannot recommend them enough. Last but not least, we need to talk about the missile decorator, the munition decorator. So over here, we have something very fun. So if you put this here, if you put decorations on this, you can apply it to your missiles. And you see that quite often nowadays because people love making beautiful, beautiful missiles. So we are going to make a canoe shaped harpoon missile because that's funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so we've got 7. I know I'm not demonstrating everything here, but like I don't need to. Right, so 7, and model diameter is 1. Let's say, yeah, probably don't need to do that. Extra elements to scan for. Searches for decorate. Ooh. Oh, I always forgot about this. All right, so if we do that, that should actually make life a lot easier. So if we do, I don't know, something like this, hopefully... I've never done this before. Hopefully it works. Tethered will be added to the decoration set. Hell yeah. Okay, very good. Alright, so first thing first, we want, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are going to make 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go... shape there. You know what? This should be wood. This should be wood. This should be wood. Would you be wood? Would you be wood? Really? And now, of course, you need fins, though, because that's important. So let's do pivot. There we go. And there we go. And now that we've done that, we can go over here, and we can go munition decoration set. There. And that looks awful! So, the thing we can do then is we can go... Right. We need to go back over here. And we need to faff around a little bit. We go here. Disable the default missile model. And that makes it look like this. Hell yeah! And then, just to make this look a little bit more tidy, we're going to go, what are we going to do? We're going to do, I'm going to shrink everything by half. Like so, like so, like so. Ha, oops. I'm just going to delete that. Aha, that's annoying. Okay, I'm going to move you off. Don't you dare. Whoop. Gonna move you. Yeah, there. And you are there, and shrink you by half. Whoops, that's more than half. That's bad. And now, let's see if my bread will work. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. Whoops, that was the wrong thing. Beautiful. And I'm gonna change that to wood, because wooden canoes are the best. And you will not convince me otherwise. Nope, don't comment furiously saying how wood sucks. I will not listen. And now we've got... Hooray! Wooden canoes. The thing that my heart desires to build, and yet I cannot, for truly, they suck. Blow the Marauder. Not like that, you disgusting person. And also just to symbolize that this thing is, in fact, a high explosive now, we need to do that. There we go. Now people know there's warning colors. Whee! Go forth. Whee! The joy of missiles. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you have learned something about the missiles. Bloody hell, that actually did really well. I need to play with laser-guided missiles more, I really do. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon and use your membership. It really helps, and there's fun perks in it for you, like a Patreon exclusive Discord, and I will review your craft for you, or build stuff for you, or do art for you. It's all great fun, and do check me out on Twitch, because we're streaming every week, and we're working on stuff, and it's good stuff, and you should come see the good stuff. That would be good. I'm very coherent right now. So I'll see you all next time in the build menu walkthrough. Take care, and farewell! Another one bites the dust, and another one down, and another one down, and another one bites the dust.